go over this Shire and Forest Hobbit House Library playground now that it's available in the Koala Marketplace for other tutors and teachers to purchase. So it's a whole kind of fairy tale, kind of Hobbit, Lord of the Rings style world here. I use this playground for literacy teaching, spelling, and reading. And let's go into first person view here. So here you see kind of a castle background and a waterfall and some bridges. And this is the root word treehouse teaching area where I focus on morphology, using some structured word inquiry and in-depth morphology vocabulary study. There's a wonder words chest. So if you come across a word that your student asks about or in your reading that's interesting and you want to investigate it, you can keep it in the words chest and then work on those investigations as you go. As you go through this portrait, there's an underground tunnel system, which I won't go in right now, but the whole world is connected with underground tunnels. There's also an underground root house here that's empty. This is for students to decorate. They can spend their gems to make this their own house, or teachers can use this as another teaching material area. And we're going to head out now and back over to the Hobbit House Library. And like I said, there is an underground tunnel system with shortcuts to all of the teaching areas in this world. So we'll go in the Hobbit House, and it's very hobbity and cozy. Here. And down into the bedroom. Lots of books, little cat, and open the secret bookcase into the secret Hobbit reading room. It's a very fun, kind of classic reading room. Art and books everywhere. And through this door, student library. And this is where my students come in and pick out what book they want to read with me during tutoring. So in the version that's for sale, these walls are totally blank since these are copyrighted images, and you can put whatever screenshots of books and descriptions you want. So I would zoom in if I read the title of a book and a student finds it interesting, I can zoom in on the book cover. This is one of my favorite books of all time that I read to my kids, and I can read the descriptions. Yeah, so that is the library. If you come out of the library, you're behind the trees, and there is this bridge archway here on this cloudy gray pathway that takes you to the Iron Mountain Castle with the drawbridge that comes up and down. You can turn that into an action zone if you want. And these walls are blank so that teachers can decorate them with whatever whatever images or teaching materials they have. And then we have the little castle area. There is a trap door behind this portrait that goes down into the treasure dungeon. I'll show that in a second. I have included a couple sound sorts because I teach using linguistic phonics and Ebley, so I plan to fill this all with sound sorts, which are little games for the students to play, and they can move the words into the correct column. So that's one idea. And then there is a secret passageway behind the curtain here that takes you out of the castle. So yeah, let's go through the secret passageway, and we'll get out here. Okay, and here you can see this is the Mushroom Cafe, or the Narrator's Nook Cafe for writing. Mushroom House in the Forest. And this is where I have a lot of the writing activities and supports. Here, that was the secret passageway. I gotta get up here. Here we go. That takes you down to the tunnel system behind that shelf. Okay, so here's the writing prompts. And I'm going to focus view. Some writing prompt ideas for students are there. You can add and change those. I also have some writing rubrics. These are some of the rubrics I use with teaching EBLI for different levels of intervention. And then some graphic organizers. Oops. And you can pick whatever graphic organizers you have. These are free ones from Canva that I just took screenshots of. And you can always use the pencil. That's a little too thick to write on these graphic organizers, and kind of brainstorm with your students. Do the planning part of writing. Okay, so that's the Mushroom Cafe for Writers. All right, I'm going to go back into the secret entrance, or actually I'm going to jump down here to this pond. And there's actually a kind of diving board up from the treehouse, and this little opening. And this is the treasure dungeon. Lots of treasure, and I'm just planning to use this as a game area where students can earn lots of gems. So you have these gems here. You can award gems to students for the activities they do. And if you come out here, there's a staircase that goes back up into the castle. And then there's this into the secret tunnel system, connecting all the areas. And you can get back to the treehouse or get back to the library for all the shortcuts. And I think I had some questions when I showed the first video about how do I read books with students. So I'm going to show that real quick. I'm going to come out of the playground. And these are some slides I have. There's extra space for students to build or teachers to build in this world. Some images of what the library can look like. I do include a list of all the books that are in my library, as well as images, some links for getting writing prompts and graphic organizers, and also some ideas for teaching morphology and vocabulary using the possum method and wall space in that iron castle fortress. Okay, so reading books with a student, I would invite the student. And then I would bring up the book on my document camera, and we would begin to read on the screen. I would zoom in a little more here and then get focused. And you can see it's pretty clear, and we can get even more focused if you want. And I have them follow along with my pen. They can use their cursor to follow along. Depending on the student's reading level, they might read one paragraph and I might read the rest of the page, or we might take turns reading one page and then they read a page, I read a page, or maybe I just have them read a few paragraphs here and there or a few sentences and then I read the rest, just depending on their level. So that is the Hobbit House. It's called Shire Forest Hobbit House Library Playground. And I hope that many teachers and tutors find it as fun as I've been finding it, especially the library.